right? There's no, what we have seen from the conservatives on the Supreme Court is that there is no amount of blood in our streets that will make them change their mind. The Supreme Court conservatives are so radically out of step with the rest of the country that even as gun restrictions like background checks and bump stock restrictions poll at their most popular rate ever, we have the Supreme Court not knocking down new gun laws that Congress is too scared to pass, but knocking down the old gun regulations that we've had. The Supreme Court has been on a tear, if you will, of knocking down old gun regulations. And this case, this Bruen case that will be coming out sometime in June now, is just going to be the next one on that string. It's going to be very bad. It's going to, we're going to be back to a situation where people can have weapons on public transport, man. And it's going to be a scary situation that the Supreme Court has decided for us all.
Yeah, it's like the Supreme Court's like the Mongol hordes. You're sweeping across, just laying waste and death and destruction, and they're not building anything. There's no concept of building a just and equitable America. It's just about destroying and, in fact, rolling back those hard-earned freedoms. And so let's talk about abortion, right? Because this is the big one. We saw the draft leak, and that should be, next couple of weeks. It'll probably come out. It'll be the official decision. We know that it takes direct aim at abortion, but the reasoning really is it's terrifying. Can you talk about just what is at stake with this decision, and not to minimize abortion? This is step one, though.
100%, Markos. So I had actually worried that the Supreme Court would do what the draft opinion says they're going to do, but say they were doing something different, so that it would actually be difficult to explain to people just how extreme their decision is. But luckily, Alito is in YOLO mode. And so he is straight up saying that Roe v. Wade was egregiously wrong when decided, and essentially overruling Roe v. Wade without any fig leaf, right? They're just straight up going for it because they have the votes now. Their legal argument for overturning this 50-year-old precedent is basically the last court got it wrong. I mean, they don't have to say anything more than that. But the offensive part that you're referring to is that Alito comes up with a new test for whether or not you have a right or not. And he says that new test is whether or not the right was well-grounded in American history. And Alito finds that well-grounded in that women's rights to their own bodies were not well-grounded in American history, that the founding fathers didn't talk about women's rights. The first Supreme Court, they didn't talk about how women had rights to their own bodies. And, Alito's not wrong about that. The founding fathers didn't talk about women's rights. The founding fathers didn't believe women had the right to finish their sentences. If the test of whether or not we have rights turns out to be whether or not Thomas Jefferson and James Madison thought we had rights, folks, there are a lot of other rights that are going away if that's the new standard, right?